It's not every day that history knocks on your door, uninvited, dripping with blood-soaked warnings and a simple instruction taped to its chest. Stay home. That's it. No barricades, no protest permits, no chanting. Just sit down, shut your door, and stop feeding the beast. Blessed Geza, the man the regime wished had stayed quiet, has instead chosen to bellow from the underground, igniting a fire we haven't felt since the last real revolution. His call for an indefinite stay away until Emerson Mnangagwa is gone is not just a protest, it's a lifeline. A final, desperate chance to say we have had enough. Without being gunned down, without being jailed or tear-gassed by security forces who serve Rolex-wearing looters instead of the Constitution. And let's not pretend this is your typical protest. Geza isn't asking you to carry a placard and risk becoming tomorrow's headline on a state-owned obituary bulletin. No, he's simply saying, do nothing. Go nowhere. Say everything. The power of absence is stronger than 1,000 angry tweets and way more effective than writing opinion pieces that ZBC will never air. Staying home shuts down the heartbeat of dictatorship, the economy. The same economy that Mnangagwa and his cabinet of Gucci-wearing vultures have turned into their personal piggy bank. Every day you go to work under this regime is another day you are oiling the gears of your own oppression. You buy fuel, they profit. You pay VAT, they loot it. You go to work, they pretend it's business as usual. Break the illusion. Collapse the circus. Let the clown perform to empty seats. Geza's warning about the involvement of security forces isn't just a nice-to-know thing. It's a survival notice. You see, when a dictator starts to wobble, the first thing he does is tighten his grip on the army. But when parts of that army start to wobble with him, that's when bullets fly in unintended directions. And those bullets, they don't ask if you support ZANU-PF. They don't check your voters' roll status. They just fly. And if there's anything Zimbabweans have learned from 2008, 2018, and every dark chapter in between, it's this. When crocodiles fight, the river turns red and the innocent drown. Stay home because a factional war among armed men in camouflage could start over tea and end in gunfire by lunch. Don't be the civilian caught in a war between thieving generals with bruised egos and half-finished coup plans. Let's be brutally honest. The regime has nothing left to offer. Mnangagwa is the political equivalent of a Nokia 3310 in the age of iPhones. Outdated, indestructible, and completely incapable of supporting apps that improve lives. Every day he remains in power, Zimbabwe loses a generation. Not metaphorically, literally. We have become a nation exporting nurses, engineers, and hope. Babies are dying in hospitals that can't afford Panadol, while our ministers fly to China for checkups because apparently foreign doctors are better at ignoring their corruption-induced complications. What's left of public service has become a ritual of humiliation, where professionals beg for salaries that can't buy a single tank of petrol. Why support a system that treats you like collateral damage? And here's the part they really don't want you to understand. Dictators don't fall when people get loud. They fall when people get cold, when the streets go quiet, when no one shows up to clap for them, when shops don't open and buses don't run, when the economy gasps for air and there is no one left to do CPR. That's why Geza's call is genius. It requires no leader, no confrontation, and no martyrdom. Just discipline, just unity, just the power of no. 1 million people silently refusing to cooperate is more terrifying to a dictatorship than 1,000 marching with placards. Because a march can be beaten, a shutdown cannot. And we need to talk about fear, because that's the fuel of every dictatorship. The reason the regime has lasted this long is not because it's strong. It's because we are scared. We are scared of losing jobs that we already had. We are scared of getting arrested for sharing tweets. We are scared of being seen as too political, when the truth is everything in Zimbabwe, including the price of onions, is political. But fear is a cage, and this shutdown is a key. By staying home, you are choosing courage. You are choosing to say, I will not participate in my own suffering. And that is powerful, because when millions choose courage at the same time, the entire system panics. Let's not forget the psychological violence we have endured, the brainwashing, the endless speeches about Vision 2030, while half the population can't see tomorrow. The way this government has rebranded suffering as sacrifice and poverty as patriotism, they want you to believe this is normal. That working 3 jobs and still begging for eco-cash agents for change is just part of sanctions. But the only sanctions destroying Zimbabwe are the ones imposed by ZANU-PF on every Zimbabwean who dreams of a better life. If Geza's shutdown achieves anything, let it at least be a mass awakening, a collective scream in the form of stillness, a way to reset the national mind. And here is another reason to stay home. To the victims of August massacre, to the babies who died in corridors because there was no electricity, to the thousands who fled this country only to be abused abroad, to those who disappeared, Itai Dzamara, among others, while we all moved on like goldfish in a tank of amnesia. This shutdown is justice, the only kind we can afford. Every day we stay home is a day we say we remember, and we will not be quiet anymore. Now, before someone says, but what about the informal sector? Let's clear that up. You are already starving. The regime made sure of that. What Geza is asking for is a temporary discomfort to deliver permanent freedom. Imagine going through all this pain, inflation, poverty, surveillance, and still not getting the prize. Even churchgoers have days in which they fast, but the fasting results in more blessings. This is a type of a fast. Imagine going through all this pain and still not getting a prize. That would be the real tragedy. Yes, staying away will sting, but staying obedient stings forever. Let your hustle pause so the nation can breathe. Even those in the diaspora must play a role. Call your relatives and tell them, don't go out. Remind them that every loaf of bread bought in Zimbabwe helps fund the same system that denied them water. Encourage them to be part of history, not just another sob story. Because once the people finally rise in discipline, in silence, and in defiance, the regime cannot survive. A government that feeds on fear has no weapons against united stillness. So Zimbabwe, this is it. This is your moment. Don't let it pass like all the others. Don't go to work and pretend nothing is happening. Don't open your shop and expect change to come from the very people choking you. Don't clap for thieves. Don't serve oppressors. Don't cooperate with tyranny. Stay home until the dictator falls. Because if you don't act now, the next chapter might not have a shutdown. It might just have shutdowns of a permanent kind. Hospitals, schools, power grids, and eventually hope itself. And finally, before you click away, remember, Zimwaves TV doesn't just bring you the truth. We scream it in surround sound, dressed in sarcasm, dipped in wit, and backed by the courage of rebels who refuse to lie quietly. So hit that subscribe button, join the shutdown, and let the regime know this country is closed until further notice.